Good afternoon, and welcome to Harwood House's 30th, our Pearl anniversary. It's wonderful to see so many of our past and present volunteers and to meet the representatives of the various charities that we support. It's just wonderful to have you all here. 30 years ago, a small group of Damascus United Methodist Church members, under the direction of Pastor Jim Archibald and with the guidance of Bill Harwood, not Hardwood, by the way, Harwood, some of you understand, stepped out of their comfort zone and, relying on faith, dared to create a mission to serve our community. On March 11th, 1993, Harwood House opened its doors. We wish that those founders could be with us here, but many of them have already passed away. But it's time, probably past time, for us to recognize them and what it was that they created. I would like to read the names of these people. They were the original founders. Laverne Archibald, Jan Barber, Bill Freimuth, Esther, she was before my time, Esther Freimuth, Bill Harwood, Lois Purdom, Mary Rose, Carolyn Snap, and Jane Snap. This is going to be mounted next to the door of the shop, and we hope that it inspires those who, as they're waiting at the door to come in, as we know they all do on especially Thursday mornings, that it might tell them, these people had the courage to go do something, to make a difference in their community. And maybe it will inspire a few others to do that as well. We do have a small gift that we had hoped to give to Jane, but unfortunately lost her very recently. But we hope that her daughter-in-law and granddaughter will accept it on her behalf. And when, Sharon, could you raise your hand? Well, way back there. Hopefully when either of you wear this, you will think of the fact that we wouldn't have made 30 years if it weren't for the people like Jane. We also will be sending a small gift to the three survivors, so to speak, but who were not able to be with us today, but they will be getting recognized as well. We'd also like to present or recognize a few other of our early volunteers. They may not have been founders, but they were totally instrumental in getting this place started. One of them was Lucille Screen, who again we lost not that long ago. She was really a resource in retail business because most of the volunteers really didn't have that much experience. And one thing many of you may not know is that she actually would take sewing machines that were donated, take them home and repair them and bring them back for us to sell. It was a pretty unique talent that she had for us. In addition, we have another volunteer who says, I'm not supposed to be recognized, but we're going to do it anyway. Sorry, Ruth. Ruth has a very, very unique position. She volunteered on the first day the shop opened, and she's still volunteering. She is the one and only. Ruth, if you could stand up to be recognized, thank you.
Basement, and it was Laverne and Connie Earp and myself, and Laverne said, we will put the clothes on the hanger this way, and Connie said, no, it's the wrong way.
Of course she did.
And so Laverne said, but we're going to do it this way. And Connie was mumbling under her breath the rest of the afternoon. But it was the wrong way, and it still is the wrong way.
Well, nobody else but you would know. There is one other person that we wanted to recognize. Unfortunately, she's not here today because she's slightly under the weather, and her name is Nancy Counts. Most of you... Nancy has been with the shop for such a long time. She is our past and our present. She keeps us on track, mindful of where we're going and what the direction of the shop really is. I don't know that what we could have done without her calm and loving presence over these years. And I'm just so sorry that she can't be here this morning. But we'll make sure that we surprise her on Tuesday, so don't tell her. On Tuesday when she comes to work to volunteer, because I think she's feeling better, we'll make sure that we do a little special presentation to her at that time. You bring so many different talents and skills to the shop, and it's what makes the place work. There are people that know a little bit about this and a little bit about that, and somehow it all comes together and it works. What I would like to do at this point, though, is to ask the people who have volunteered between 20 and 30 years to please stand up. Thank you. Then if we could have those who have been here between 10 and 20 years stand up. So search your brains, try to figure out how long you've been here. And then if you've been here like between 1 and 10 years, how many between 1 and 10? And then is there anyone who is in their first year of volunteering? Please stand, stand. We're especially glad because without new volunteers, the place couldn't keep growing. So thank you, all of you. One last group I'd like to see. How many of you came to volunteering because of one of our shop managers, either Barbara or Kim? Stand please. If that's how you found out about the shop. And Sharon, yeah, I see hands. If you can't, that's fine. And Barbara and Kim, if you would please stand up, because I know there are many more that have not, that we appreciate not only your work in the shop, but the fact that you have helped to pull many people in. People come in to shop and they don't realize they're going to end up volunteering. But it happens. It does happen.
Holy God, we thank you so much for this wonderful day, this opportunity to celebrate 30 years of Harwood House. We thank you for those who had the vision to begin it. We thank you for all the volunteers, past, present, and future. We just ask, Lord, that you bless our time together, bless this meal, bless all those whose hands have worked to put it together today. And may this food strengthen our bodies and us to your service, we pray. In Christ's name, amen.
Well, good afternoon. My name is Lou Stavely, and this is Carl Rathbon. In 2018, we brought Sleep in Heavenly Peace to Frederick County. Sleep in Heavenly Peace is a national nonprofit, and what we do is make beds for kids. We're a nonprofit. We have to raise our money and buy wood and buy beds and make sure the kids have something to sleep on. Carl's going to fill you in on some details.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to meet with you today and share a little bit. I was scratching out a couple of ideas. This is our 5th year of providing beds to kids who are sleeping on the floor. So far, we've been able to serve 671 families with 1,261 beds. Just to give you an idea of what 1,261 beds looks like, if you line them end to end, starting in your parking lot, and went up Woodfield Road till you got to 27 and made a right and went up to the entrance to the Bennett Park, that's how far 1,261 beds goes. It's also enough to fill 3.5 elementary schools the size of Damascus Elementary, which is, as of this year, has like 354. But Sleep in Heavenly Peace is just a hub. We have many spokes. We get financial, bedding, and labor support from a number of groups. We've been fortunate to have a group that reworked a dairy barn so that we have a place where we can build beds year-round. We have a lot of support from Lowe's, Project Linus, and 4 county quilters make quilts for us. We have a pool of 600 volunteers to pull together. Some build, some sand, some deliver, some pick up bedding from the drop-off points. And we work a lot through Frederick County Public Schools. But we also get a lot of support from churches and realtors and companies. Some can provide financing and bedding and labor, and some bring just what they can. And we have managed to be able to bolt all those resources together. The main motto of Sleep in Heavenly Peace is, no kid sleeps on the floor in our town. And it doesn't matter whether it's Damascus or Thurmont or Mount Airy or Brunswick, we're trying to find every child who's sleeping on the floor, on a couch, or with their parents or siblings. And when we started doing this, the idea was put a bed under a child and benefit them. But we've come to realize that it benefits the whole family. If you're a single parent that's working lots of jobs trying to make ends meet, and you don't have money for beds for your kids, we will provide them. Grandparents are getting custody of their grandchildren because the parents are not able to take care of them. We have non-custodial parents who can't do visitations over the weekend or overnight with their grandchildren because they don't have beds. So there's a lot of, it's not just the kids who are benefited, it's the whole community. So again, thank you for your support. People support Harwood House with their donations. You convert your donations into some funds for us to go out and buy lumber. So it's a matter of passing these resources forward to benefit the children. And if we use our resources now to help these children get a good night's sleep, then maybe we don't have to find more expensive and harder to deliver services to them as adults. So thank you again so much for your support.
Hi, my name is Andy Goldenson, and I'm the CEO of Instruments of Healing. We're a 501c nonprofit, same thing basically. We're a nonprofit that serves about 1,000 people a year in the Maryland state area. I wish I could say it's one county. It's not. The work and the love that we need as an agency to survive spreads throughout the state of Maryland. In Baltimore, Howard County, Carroll County, Prince George's County, Anne Arundel County, maybe forgetting some guys, Montgomery County. 15 counties. I know that. 15 counties. This is the reason that Sabrina's standing up beside me. She's the reason why my vision that I had became a beautiful business to help a lot of people. And we're serving people in the community that have mental health and or substance use needs in psychiatric rehabilitative treatment facilities, mental health wellness centers that used to be like your clubhouse environments, your drop-in centers, so to speak, where peers run their own centers. And so we go in those communities. We've worked in hospitals. We've gotten to go into the prestigious St. Elizabeth's Hospital in Washington, D.C. And what do we do? That's a great question. I'm going to turn over to Sabrina to tell you that, to answer that question.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for having us today. And congratulations, by the way, on your 30th anniversary. Great. Yeah, let's hear that for everybody. Thank you. Yeah. It's a great milestone to achieve. We're only in our 10th year, so we hope to achieve what you guys have. But what we do is we bring musical instruments, keyboard, electronic drums, all different kinds of guitars, kind of like a rock stage of instruments. We'll bring them to these treatment facilities that Andy was just talking about. And we want people who are having some life challenges to just play the instruments, get a feel. You don't have to have any experience. Just get a feel for what it's like to make some music. And people can sing. We get YouTube videos with lyrics up on the iPads that we have, and get some karaokeing going, and just have people have fun through music and sort of forget their worries for the day. And it's important. It's powerful. Music is a very healing thing for people. So, yes. Yes, and what does your funding do for us? We're so grateful for the funding that you guys, funding that you guys have. Because we serve so many people, we have been on the road with our equipment for a long time now. It's been 10 years of aging equipment, and this past year, because of the funding from Harwood House, we've been able to replace some of our road-weary equipment, and just goes into the programming itself of what we do, and helping a lot of people. So we really, people all over the state of Maryland appreciate your funding. So we appreciate it. Yeah, go ahead.
We don't exist without you guys. We really don't. We couldn't do this without you. Thank you so much. I mean, that's. If I had one statement, that would be all I'd want to tell you. We really don't. No.
Thank you.
2 minutes, they said. 2 minutes. I'm Captain Sherry Hull, and I'm the station commander at your local fire station in Damascus, Station 13. First of all, I want to mention the fact that this room is full of people who care about other people is such a beautiful thing. And that all of these organizations work together to provide citizens not only of Montgomery County, but Frederick and Howard and Carroll resources that they otherwise would not have. We especially saw this during the pandemic. And because my station is central to so many counties, 4 total, we had an opportunity to interact during the pandemic with people in desperate need. And many of them were resourced to Harwood House because it was some of the rare resources available in the area that folks just did not have access to. Families with small children, seniors in other counties, they came to Harwood because there was nothing else. We, as the hub of the town, the fire department, have the opportunity to be a collection point for all kinds of things. We actually receive donations for Damascus Help, and then we shuttle them over so that we can help to feed the community. And some of us were drafted to help at Harwood House as volunteers. Kim specifically, I was doing a fire safety inspection. And little did I know, and I think that's happened to a number of us in the room. Shout out, yes. So the things that we do for each other, they essentially reach out and touch people everywhere. And it's a privilege and an honor to be amongst these people, all of you, and to be able to provide the loving resources and services that our community, not only our small community here in Damascus, but our much larger community has been able to benefit from, especially over the course of the last 2 years in some very, very difficult times.
So my name is Debbie Tomlinson, and I'm the program director with Faith Connections. Faith Connections is a nonprofit. It's a coalition of the churches in the greater Damascus and Clarksburg area. There's about 18 churches. So our main mission is to help those in need in the community, our local community. We have a helpline, and we help people. The core mission is to keep people in their homes. It started about in the 1960s, and when there's so many families that have an illness, one of the spouses can't work, then they just get behind. And so the donations that come from Harwood, we're so thankful. They help people in our local community stay in their homes. During COVID, there were about 60 families who really struggled. So we're just so thankful for this ministry. We also coordinate holiday giving and the school supply ministry. In the past, we have had for several years a healthy choice program for single moms that lived in the Damascus community, and they would come with their young children, and we would help them set goals to move forward. We stopped the program because 18 of the women moved forward with their goals and moved out. A lot of them lived in the Damascus Gardens. They had goals to move out, and they got jobs with insurance companies. We had also had a GED class. We were helping them get their GED at the Damascus Rec Center. And it met right in this room, so we're thankful for Damascus United Methodist Church. Anyway, it's just such a unique ministry that Harwood has. People give, and then people serve, and then it goes back out to the community. So I'm really thankful, and everyone at Faith Connections.
Hi, I'm Kay Orr. I'm representing Damascus Help, and we use that money to help feed people, help pay their utilities and their rent. We have lots of, since you're volunteers, we have lots of use for volunteers, and we appreciate your being here and everything that you do. I did want to mention Damascus Help has been around since 1969, so we've been around a long time. And I personally used to volunteer for what used to be the Harwood House, but it wasn't in the Harwood House. It was in a basement underneath the building Dr. DiBiase owned, right up from what's the Hornet's Nest right now. And so our church would volunteer and staff that. All they really had was clothing at that time. And for Damascus Help, by the way, we do coordinate with your thrift shop to help people who need clothing, and appreciate you for that. I don't know if you know Winona Patrick. She's no longer here, but she was part of this church, and she made us know at Damascus Help that the Harwood House was coming, and she was so excited about everything you do, and you do it so well. I personally donate at the back door, go in the front door, and shop. Love to do that. But regarding volunteer positions, we have food drivers who deliver food to people, pantry sorters, and by the way, this church provides the space for the pantry. We have people who pick up food and people who purchase food who are volunteers. We have a financial assistance program for utilities and rent that I mentioned, and we need caseworkers for that. We have a furniture committee, which is kind of limping because we don't have any place to store furniture, and we don't have any volunteers to deliver it or with trucks to take it. So if somebody calls in with furniture they want to deliver, and we know of somebody who needs that kind of furniture to get it done, they have to work with each other to get it from one place to the other. I'm in charge of the officers of the day, who are people who answer the phone at their own home, who get it forwarded. Our phone number gets forwarded to your home once a month. And you work from 9 to 5. The days are Monday through Saturday. So we answer all the calls that come in, and then to take care of whatever their need is regarding that. And we have a transportation committee. At this point, we don't have any drivers. So what we're looking into is finding a way to get vouchers to help people to pay for rides from taxis and that sort of thing. Our chairman would like no longer to be chairman. There's a bunch of us on the board who are in our 70s and 80s. We need young blood. We need you to come and help us. And we also need a crop walk coordinator. I've been doing that for a number of years, and I quit this last year, so somebody else needs to take over the reins for that. And thanks for all the good that you do for us.
Hello, I'm Captain Timothy Joe. I'm the Corps officer in the Salvation Army in Montgomery County. You will see another officer there, Major English. He's taking care of the Frederick, but all the upper Montgomery County and lower Montgomery County is on me. I may have to excuse because I'm still in the jet lag, so I hope I can speak the right things. But the Salvation Army, Montgomery County, has been there, the new building, since 1985, so it's more over than 20 years. And I don't know whether you know of the fact, but the Salvation Army officers, we move certain years, 3 to 5 years range, and we move around. So frankly, when I received the invitation, I was had no knowledge. It was new to me, and everything, even right now, is new to me too. But one thing that's from this, my study, over 24 years, we received the help from the Harwood donations, and we do a lot of work, as you know, the Salvation Army, with the social services and very variety of help to the community. But without your donation, like the donors, probably you would not able to provide. Depends on the locations. The volume might be a little bit different, but I try to not to take all of yours, Major. The social service, including the utility service and renting and food, and especially Christmas time, we do angel trees. So donations that we receive, such a donors and group like you, we were able to help 1,600 children who do not have the toys for the Christmas this year. So that is one of the big project. And during the regular days, we serve the food to the community. Sometimes we deliver to the senior apartment, or like the Fridays, we provide the food, grocery bags from our locations. So in our locations, about 1,800 individuals come and get the help from us every week. So that is the volume of how we serve the Montgomery County. I think the Frederick, probably the major Israel, the English we're gonna share more. But anyway, my point is everything new to me, but I really appreciate your history of your donation to our organizations, and that's the way that we could sustain and strongly to the community. Without you, we couldn't do that. And also, I'm so glad to see a lot of nonprofit organizations, whether in the Fredericks or the Montgomery County, because we are not volunteer-based. We are focusing on maybe hiring the more employee, so that in that way we can serve the community more, consistently. So maybe the nature is different, but a lot of organizations that I heard your specialties, that's what we are interested in, because we want to work as the Salvation Army as a hub to help the community. So if you have any interest to the Salvation Army, we are always open and willing to provide the venue and workforce. So please let us know. And thank you again for your donations.
Good afternoon. I am Angie Casterlin, and I am the Development Manager for Frederick Health Hospice. And I would like to say thank you for allowing me to be here today. And our organization has been very blessed to have the support of Harwood House for over 24 years consecutively, and it's pretty amazing. I mean, we're so very grateful. And the support that you all provide, it really helps us to not only provide hospice support to those who are facing a terminal illness and their families, but it allows us to do a lot of other services that we are not able to provide if we did not have the support of others and donations. And that is, we offer a music therapy program, so with that, it's not something that we get reimbursed, and we have a music therapist that works directly with our patients and the families, and they help them with anxiety and pain management. They really do well with our dementia patients. We also have a veterans program that donations allow us to do this, and we have 2 staff members that specifically, they work directly with our hospice veteran patients, and they recognize them for their services. They go out, they do ceremonies and thank them for their service, and then they work with the families and they help them and they research any VA benefits that maybe the families might be entitled to. And we're starting to, the word's getting out, so we're starting to do that even more in our community with veterans that are not even on our program. And then we also have our Klein Hospice House. Many of you might be familiar with that. We just celebrated 20 years of serving our community. It's located in Mount Airy, about 2 miles from Lincoln High School. And with the house, it's for those who need 24-hour care. Sometimes they start at home and then they end up at our Klein House because they now need that continuous care. And the room and board is not covered by any type of insurance. It is private pay, but we offer it on a sliding scale. Again, without donation support, we wouldn't be able to do that. So we may have somebody that can pay the daily rate, and we might have somebody else that is paying nothing because they just can't afford it. But I will tell you, hospice doesn't turn anyone away, ever. At the most critical time in their life, we should be giving them that, and that's what we do. And it's because of the type of support we get from people like you. And then we also have a very robust bereavement program, and we offer grief support not only to those families that we serve through hospice, but we offer grief support to anybody in the community at no charge. I would say probably 60 to 70% of those services are to people that have not used our services at all. And we provide individual counseling, and we also provide a host of support groups as well. And then we have a camp for children, which is called Camp Jamie. We've been able to expand that, thankfully, to donations. And it used to be for grades 1 through 8. It was a weekend camp. Now we have a one-day camp as well. And last year we just started a teen camp, so it's for grades 9 through 12. And again, those types of things we would not be able to do without the support of all of you wonderful people in this room. And I know our volunteers are what we call the heart of hospice. We could not do what we do for our patients and our families and our community if we didn't have volunteers. So again, very grateful for all of you and everything you do, and thank you very, very much.
Hello, I'm Michael Grogan from the City of Frederick Community Table.
I'm Deja G. I'm also with the City of Frederick Community Table.
We'd just like to say thank you so much for all your support. Without your donations, we will not be able to serve as many people as we do. We serve about 80 folks a day, 365 days a year, so we serve dinner every night from 5 to 6:30, and we rely heavily on your donations for food, for supplies and equipment in our kitchen. And we're also very volunteer-based as well, so it's really great to see all these volunteers out here tonight. Today. It's truly full circle, though. So, again, thank you for all your support. I truly appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Penny Gladhill, and I am representing Caring Matters. You might remember us as Hospice Caring. For we have been in the county, it will be 34 years in January. It is totally volunteer-driven. We have 4 main programs. Volunteer Helping Hands is a program that helps people who are at their end of life, respite care, transportation to doctor's office. Being with them, being present is the gift. Our unique children's program for grieving. We go into every school in Montgomery County, and the guidance counselor identifies the children who are grieving. Once a week for 7 weeks, a trained volunteer brings them to the guidance counselor's office, and they learn to express their grief. Children do not have a voice for grief. Sometimes even the teacher didn't know that a mother died. But in this group, they help each other to find their voice. We have a wonderful adult bereavement program. At this time, there are 12 very unique groups. It is like loss. We have parent loss, child loss, spousal loss, suicide loss, so that everyone in that group can get the support from each other in a safe place. Our last program is called Camp Erin, and each year around May, we take around 50 children from 7 to 17 years of age to an overnight camp. Again, here again, it's the children who help each other, all run by volunteers. And I will tell you, your help to us keeps our door open in every program. Thank you so much. Thank you.
It's wonderful. Our organization is CALMRA, and we serve people with cognitive, developmental, and physical disabilities. We help them live in the community, just as you and I would do. And one of the things that we struggled with over the last few years, like you all did, was COVID. And your funds helped us buy supplies for the homes and the staff and the residents. And I'm happy to report we did not have one death from COVID during that period or since. Most of the time, the money that we get from you is used for things that aren't paid for otherwise. So let me tell you a few things that we used for you. We installed 2 permanent generators in 2 of our homes that serve individuals who require tube feedings and oxygen. We repaired wheelchair ramps that make our homes accessible for residents with mobility impairments. We helped a participant experience a long-awaited vacation. We updated and improved an accessible bathroom for one of our homes. We installed and repaired ceiling lifts so that lifting and transferring the residents is safe for both the resident and the staff. We also provide weather-appropriate clothing for residents who couldn't afford it. So those are some examples, but just to let you know that you've really made a difference in our program and touched the lives of people with disabilities. Everyone here at CALMRA thanks you and appreciation you have done for us and others so deserving in the community. 30 years of helping is truly an occasion to remember and celebrate. Thank you. I want to send big congratulations to everyone on all those years of service. And we have a little plaque to acknowledge your milestone. I'll give it here to Steve. He writes the checks. He's an important guy. We appreciate all your wonderful efforts and to help the vulnerable people in our agency who have disabilities. God bless you all.
Hello. So my name is Shelley Bagaski. I am the area director for Montgomery County Special Olympics. We serve 600 athletes with intellectual disabilities through 24 sports throughout the year. The donations that we receive from Harwood House helps us provide these services. We don't charge our athletes to participate. We supply uniforms, equipment, facilities, We take them on, they go to winter games and summer games. Actually, we just got back from winter games. We actually had the largest delegation at winter games. They went up to WISP, they stayed in the hotel, they competed for 3 days. It was a great event. So I just want to thank everyone for donating to us and for all the work you do, and all of these volunteers. We also are operated with just all volunteers, so I understand what this is about. So thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Marlene Bradford, and this is my colleague, Lauren Friedman. We are with Montgomery Hospice Casey House, and we're wearing our masks because we're returning to care for the sickest members of our community, and we want to make sure that should we have any cooties, that we're not giving it to them. Thank you for inviting us to be a part of this. Casey House has been in the community since 1981, perhaps, maybe less than that, 1999. But Montgomery Hospice Incorporated has been around since 1981, and our mission is to gentle the journey through serious illness and loss with skill and compassion. And we have been very privileged to be on the receiving end of your generosity, the giving of your time, your talents, and your treasures. And the reason why it's so important is because Casey House cares for anyone regardless of their ability to pay. So there are thousands of people in this community who receive news that their time with us is limited. And what we want them to know that whether or not they have insurance or financial means, they can come and be cared for by professionals such as Lauren. And I will let her share a little bit about the significance of the work that they do, but we want to just say thank you for investing in our community and investing in those who have a terminal illness, because the reality is we don't get a second chance to do it right. So together, we are indeed making a difference in the community, and we thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of the Casey House patients, families, their loved ones, and staff, I want to extend deep gratitude for your thoughtfulness and generosity. We constantly see on a daily basis the firsthand benefits of your donations. Just similarly as the other Frederick Hospice was saying, we have so many services that are not covered, and your donations make this possible for families and patients. Patient and family comfort and support is greatly increased by the wonderful contributions from Harwood House Thrift Shop, and we are all extremely grateful. We want to join in celebrating all of you and your 30 years of service to others, and we're so grateful. Thank you.
I just want to end with a story of a young patient, a young woman, who was at a local hospital, and she was transferred to Casey House because her symptoms needed to be managed, and her family wanted her to be in a home-like environment. And after she passed away, her siblings sent us a letter, and in the letter was a check for $57.16. And in that letter, what they said was, in her entire healthcare continuum, she had always been asked about, how are you going to pay for this? And while she was at the hospital, they got the sense that they were ready to let her go. And so she was transferred to Casey House because they knew we would not ask her how she was going to pay for it. And they wanted us to receive that remainder of her estate so that they and she can pay it forward to others. So we always say to donors, whether it's a penny or it's millions of dollars, every bit of funds make a difference. And so again, we thank you because the investment of your time and your generosity is paying it forward to young ladies such as her, where they can come and they can feel at home and cared for when they know that their time is limited. So once again, thank you for being so community-centered.
Good afternoon. My name is Reverend Tim Warner. I'm proud to serve as the pastor of Emory Grove United Methodist Church in Gaithersburg and as director for faith relations for Habitat for Humanity of Metro Maryland. Thank you all for feeding me. I rushed out of the pulpit after church to dash up here to make sure that I could come up here to say thank you on behalf of the president and CEO, Jeff T., our entire board of directors, and all of us who serve on staff at Habitat. We want to thank Harwood House for just the consistency, the consistent support that you continue to give. We have received tens of thousands of dollars for more years than I've been at Habitat from Harwood House. And unfortunately, I didn't know Harwood House was even here before I went to Habitat, and I got a chance to look at the numbers. I said, well, who is this Harwood House, right? But thank you so much for that. I won't belabor the time. Habitat has, Metro Maryland has been around since 1982, and we provide affordable housing ownership for people who would not otherwise be able to afford a home. Jimmy Carter did not found Habitat, but he is our most famous volunteer. We are preparing for just an avalanche of chaos. He's now in hospice care, and so we are praying for he and his family. So we do that by either taking a rehabbed house, an old house that's been that is near its end, or working some kind of a deal in the county, in either Prince George's or Montgomery, for a new plot of land. But we build houses. If it's a rehab, we build it almost like it's brand new, and the new ones we build up. But our issue is, and so we provide for families a 0% mortgage and a 1% down payment to lower the bar for people to get into housing, to own their own housing, and then they have some equity built into the deal. So they're able to participate in the economy better because they get to build wealth the same way the rest of us do through our home equity. Here's the issue in Montgomery County, since we're here. You will be astounded to hear that the average cost of a single-family detached home, anyone want to take a guess? Not going to do it, $770,000. So you can imagine what a 20% down payment looks like, right? And how much you would have to save to pay for a mortgage like that. That's what makes Habitat really important, not just for a place to live, but a place that people can own in a supportive neighborhood. So what we get from you at Harwood House is the ability to use unrestricted funds to purchase land. The issue is that in this county, it is hard to find land to develop affordably. And so we get grants from federal, state, and local government. Corporations give us money. Some of them give us in-kind stuff. But if we were a for-profit home developer, we would lose money. We'd be out of business because we literally choose to lose money on every deal so that we can sell it to somebody affordably. So these funds allow us to buy the wood to frame houses, the shingles for the roofs, and we have to call in tradespeople to do the things that volunteers really won't do well. And so the dollars from Harwood House allow us to do that. So we're deeply appreciative of that. Let me just relate one story, and then I'll be out of your way. I've preached today, so I don't have much more to say. Somebody said, "Thank you, Reverend." Wrong context. Thank you. So we're about to develop a huge development down on Randolph Road. We're literally building a new community with other partners. We're going to do the affordable housing ownership. I think it is 12 single-family homes and a bunch of condos that we are building for people to own. But it used to be the Roundhouse Theater, if anyone's ever been there. So it is no more. If you drive by there, you're going to say, "What happened to the Roundhouse?" We tore it down. It's gone. And so in the many duties that we have as Habitat staff, we were asked with volunteers to go out and clean up the trash that had accumulated on this lot for years because the government wasn't doing anything with it. And so we were happily out there doing it because we know what's about to be erected there. And one of the volunteers, a young woman, college age, was way too happy to be out shoveling trash into wheelbarrows, right? I was like, what is the matter with? So I went up and talked to her. She was from Ethiopia, and she began to tell me her story and why she was so happy to be there. She is the daughter of parents who had purchased a Habitat house in Maple Hill in Gaithersburg. And her reality, she said, was they came from another country. They were living with so many people in the house that she did not share her own bed. She didn't have her own bed, so she had to share a bed, and she used to study in that bed with covers over her head at night with a flashlight. Turns out this young woman now is a senior at Brown University about to graduate with honors in public health. And she said, my own parents having their own place with a room where I could study and turn the lights on whenever I wanted to, enable me to get the educational attainment that I've been able to get. That's what the dollars at Harwood House give to us. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. Good to see you all. My name is Inga James, and I'm the President and Executive Director of Hartley House in Frederick County. Our mission is to end intimate partner violence, sexual assault, human trafficking, and child abuse, and to provide safety, shelter, and supportive services. People tend to think of us as just an emergency shelter for women and children, but we actually are way more than that. We provide comprehensive, holistic services. So we provide things like legal representation in the courts. We provide professional counseling. We provide abuser services. We have a prevention program. We have a 24-hour crisis line. So we try to serve all the needs of the clients who come to us, which increased by 65% during COVID. So I always say that COVID screwed us all over, but families bore the brunt. And we're seeing it, and we're going to see it for years. Experts are telling us we're going to see it for 15 or 20 years. The mental health concerns that have arisen, particularly within our children, from being unable to socialize and get an education with others and do the things that kids need to do. So we're prepared. Or we are preparing, let's put it that way. We are very, very proud to be a recipient of Harwood House's donations. It's been incredible. Every year we have about $1 million of undesignated funding that we have to find just to keep our lights on, to pay our accountant, to pay for me. Because our grants, which we have about 67% of our budget are grants, they don't pay for anything but direct services. So we can't even pay for people's laptops oftentimes with grants. So Harwood House goes in to fill that gap that we have, that $1 million gap that we have every single year that we have to find from donations. Harwood House gives us that, helps us keep our lights on. And so we're so pleased and proud because our clients need the work that we do. We need to be able to serve these individuals who, as the Reverend called it, suffer from these hidden crimes. And I must tell you that because of the prevention and the community engagement work that we're doing in Frederick County, we're taking it out of secrecy, we're taking it out of the shadows, and we're making sure everybody understands that 1 in 3 women, look around, 1 in 3 women and 1 in 5 men, look around. Lots of us aren't there. So I think it's just critical that that we understand the prevalence of the problem and the way the children are growing up these days. I want to read you a quote from a client. It says, "I had nowhere else to go when Hartley House was recommended to me. I was stuck in a cycle of substance abuse because I could not come to terms with the childhood sexual trauma I had suffered. Today I am sober and being given the tools to learn to live with my past and plan for a future. My family is intact because I received help. I will be forever grateful for the second chance at life I am given." Those are the kind of things that we hear all the time because there are so few resources for these people. So we're kind of the only game in town. So I just want to thank all of you for all the work that you do. Thank you so much from us.
So I'm manager of community and individual giving with Interfaith Works. Been there for 5 years. It's an incredible organization in Montgomery County. We are dedicated to support most vulnerable neighbors of Montgomery County by providing a wide range of services. We provide housing, shelter, food, clothing, medical assistance, then case management, and including vocational services to more than 35,000 individuals in Montgomery County in a year. So we don't do this work alone. We do this together with our community partners, volunteers, donors, faith communities, and many more. We have approximately 7,000 volunteers work every year to support all these 35,000 individuals. And then our mission is to support our neighbors by providing vital services and pathway to greater stability. With the support from Harwood House, we were able to help Interfaith Works Women's Center that serves like 30 to 70 women every day. So during the day, this program is pretty much covered by county contracts and also partially from the volunteers and meal providers. So we heavily rely on meal providers to support our women's center to provide meals. So on the days that we cannot cover meals, Harwood House's money was able to help us to fund that night. And also, we were able to purchase gift cards during the holiday time and also for birthdays of our clients, which brought them much needed joy to our guests during their challenging times. And also, we were able to purchase essentials such as toiletries, personal care, cleaning supplies, and other items that are not covered under contracts. So your generosity and commitment to our cause have been instrumental in efforts of empowering our women to break the cycle of homelessness and poverty. On behalf of Interfaith Works Women's Center, I would like to extend our deepest gratitude to your unwavering support and contribution. Congratulations on this significant milestone. Thank you.
My name is Bob Baker. I'm the Director of Special Olympics in Howard County. You heard from Shelley Bergansky. She's the Director in Montgomery County. It's a pleasure to be here today. Congratulations on your 30th year celebration. Such a great honor to be part of this. As Shelley said, we provide free programs to people with intellectual disabilities through sports programs. We believe sports programs leads to better self-confidence to be out in the workforce, be part of the community in general. And through sports, we do this. And because we provide free programs, we need the support of organizations like yourself. So I got involved. We're an all-volunteer-run organization. I got involved in the year 1996, I guess it was, when my daughter started participating, became the director in 2000, and that's kind of when we started really keeping good records of everything. And we went back and looked at all the donations that Harwood House has given to us since that time, and the checks just started rolling in. Thank you so much. And I really want to do a shout out to the Snap family. I think it was through Jane Snap that our connection was made. Sharon Snap, Jane's granddaughter, Emily, is part of our program, and I think that's how we came to know each other. But it's such a great relationship, and since the year 2000, we started serving, when I first took over, about 90 athletes, and we had 7 sports. Today we serve 960 athletes and their families and have 25 sports. So because of your donations, we've been able to grow and serve more and more people. So at the end of each season, our athletes work towards a final competition. We have, like I say, those 25 sports are spread throughout the year, usually 10 to 12-week seasons of practice, and then we have competitions in between and a final competition, and they go for the gold medal. So I have a plaque here to give Harwood House a gold medal for all your support. So, and I think somebody else gave Steve, the check writer, a plaque. I'll give Debbie this plaque. So thank you so much for all that you've done for us for at least 23 years.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah. Well, hi, I'm Major Kelly English with the Salvation Army in Frederick. 2 places, 2 points of direct impact that your help, how your help lands in our lap. We have a day center. That day center, every day, including today, gives a place that is safe for people who are homeless. They can come in and just know that they're going to be okay. I love that. I love that. The other place of impact comes in our Christmas program. You heard my colleague in Montgomery County as they helped over 1,600 children. In Frederick County, it was over 2,000 children and over 700 families. Listen, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of volunteer hours. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of selfless input from the community. So from the Salvation Army, we like to thank the Harwood Fund, the Harwood House. I'm new. We would like to thank you, because this kind of stuff doesn't just happen overnight. It happens because people's hearts unite together and they say, I'm not going to allow my community to fall through the cracks. Thank you from the Salvation Army.
I'm going to introduce my four-legged assistant and my two-legged assistant. Jack is newborn. I think he's only about a week old. And and he's enjoying all the festivities. And Cindy is my administrator. I'm not going to bring up her age, so she's here to help me. But I'm Dr. Toole, Helen Toole, from the Therapeutic and Recreational Riding Center in Glenwood, Maryland, and that's Howard County. So there again, I'm going to bring up Sharon Snapp, and she was instrumental in introducing us to Harwood House, and you've been donating to us for 30 years now, and the center, because of you, has grown and grown and is now 40 years in operation. So we've served hundreds and hundreds of families, offering horseback riding to children with various disabilities, and also therapy. It's called equine-assisted therapy. So we have occupational and physical therapists on staff. And then a new component is taking care of the veterans. Now, equine-assisted therapy is for mental health for veterans is a new component, and the military is recognizing the need, long overdue, of the mental health of the veterans returning home. So we bring them into Mother Nature. We use the horse as a communication tool, and it's proving out to be very, very effective. We have a lot of young volunteers, and one of them said to me one day, I'm a better person for being here. So we did our job. And then he said, I'm a better person for knowing Ben. And Ben is one of our Special Olympic riders. And we have a very large equestrian team for the Special Olympics. So I know Bob Baker well. But another child said to me, my best friend has 4 legs, because she takes me into the woods, and I cross the river. And I said, well, it's just a stream. Oh, no, it's a river. And then she says, I'm learning my trees, and I'm learning my birds, and I'm going uphill and down, and I never could go that way with my wheelchair. So this is what the opportunity is, to come into Mother Nature, which is welcoming, and to see what they're missing. And then also, let's see, we go on hay rides, and we have wildlife adventures, and we have nesting bald eagles, so there's viewing those nests. And Sharon Snapp is the lead for the garden. We have a garden group, and then we also have a parent support group. So they bring in various speakers, and they have, I think they had an art class not too long ago. So there's really so much adventure in Mother Nature, and we bring it to them up close and personal. So thank you very much.
I want to try to make a wrong that I did it right. I need to thank somebody from Elizabeth here for recommending us to the board here at Harwood House. That's somebody that I forgot to thank today. Yeah, what's that? Elizabeth Bradley here. Yes. Yeah.
I want to thank everyone who came to share today with all of us what our volunteer hours mean. Because I think sometimes when we get busy trying to figure out how are we going to get through these bags of clothes and what are we going to do with all of these mugs or glasses or all of the other things that are mundane, everyday kind of concerns that a lot of times we start forgetting the big picture of why we are really here. And I think this helped to answer that. And I hope all of you, I know I teared up a number of times. I just couldn't help it to know that, again, what we work for reaches out so far into the community in so many different ways. That's it, really. Enjoy your dessert and enjoy each other.